What is going on in Spain? In the Spanish town of Torre Pacheco, a town of about 40,000 inhabitants with a large migrant population, about 30% of the town is North African. A 68-year-old man named Domingo was assaulted while walking near his home. According to eyewitnesses, a group of young North African migrants approached him without warning. One struck him in the face, knocking him to the ground, and then others joined in, kicking him repeatedly as he lay there in the ground. No valuables were taken. The motive was not robbery, but participation in a viral challenge, which encourages youths to film random acts of violence for social media likes. Police later identified and arrested two of the attackers, both of them Moroccan nationals aged 21 and 22. The incident sparked widespread reaction online and in local communities. Attacks on elderly locals are becoming increasingly frequent. Here is another photo that recently surfaced showing a victim allegedly beaten by Moroccan migrants simply for fun and for viral video content. There's something deeply troubling about the fact that this man, this old Spaniard, he built a society that provided economic opportunity to migrants and then provided refuge in a safe country to would-be asylum seekers. And here he is, a victim of the very people that the society he built let in. A group of North African migrants, whom locals call Maghrebis, also assaulted a young Spaniard who is now hospitalized in Torre Pacheco. Maghrebis refers to people originating from the Maghreb region of North Africa, which includes Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and sometimes more broadly Libya and Mauritania. The term is very common in France and Spain, where the term Maghrebis refers not just to immigrants from that region, but very often also to their descendants. In response to the attacks, the Torre Pacheco Town Council organized a peaceful demonstration, a normal reaction to extreme violence. However, tensions quickly escalated. Over the weekend, confrontations broke out between groups of local residents and young migrants. Here is footage from the Torre Pacheco clashes. 5 people were injured and 1 individual was arrested for attempting to attack officers of the civil guard. As a result, Torre Pacheco has become a flashpoint in the national debate about forming local patrol groups to combat crimes, mostly crimes committed by North African youth gangs. Maghrebi migrants are clearly provoking the population. The beatings of these elderly have increased tensions and escalated things. Protests have started spreading across the country. In Almeria, violent ethnic clashes occurred between migrants and local residents. According to witnesses, some of the migrants were armed with sticks and pepper spray. Vehicles were overturned and several people were injured. In Alcalá de Henares, near Madrid, tensions flared following the arrest of a 21-year-old Malian asylum seeker who sexually assaulted a young woman near a refugee shelter housing approximately 2,000 migrants. In Aranda de Duero, street violence broke out. Police reported a group of about 15 individuals armed with sticks, bottles and belts engaged in a large fight. 1 man was hospitalized with a head injury and another was arrested. Meanwhile, the protests are still going on in the town of Torre Pacheco itself. North Africans, once again armed and hooded, are setting off fireworks in the streets and literally building barricades. The day before, a group of people believed to be Spanish broke into a kebab shop run by migrants and destroyed it in a matter of seconds. Here's this incredible video of a kebab store being attacked by a group of vigilantes. In response, the Maghrebis have launched a new wave of protest demanding justice for those who destroyed the restaurant. Videos posted on social media show them walking through the streets armed with sticks and stones. As these tensions are rising, the Spanish government, led by Pedro Sánchez, continues to support mass migration and creates a real security threat not only for Spain, but actually for the entire European Union. Migrants on smuggling boats keep storming Spain's southern coastline. We have seen hundreds of videos of small boats arriving on the Spanish shores. And while Spain persists in pursuing this course of pro-mass migration, Europe is already rethinking its approach to migration. Central and Eastern European countries have seen the chaos unleashed by uncontrolled migration in the West and are determined not to repeat the same mistakes. That's why Poland, for instance, has built a massive wall on its border with Belarus, which is being stormed daily by illegal migrants, but is successfully stopping them. Spain, unfortunately, remains one of the most lenient countries in Europe when it comes to illegal migration. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, the socialist, openly promotes migration as a key to economic growth and demographic stability. He supports the EU's Pact on Migration and Asylum, which calls for mandatory redistribution of asylum seekers across member states and imposes fines on those who refuse. But behind the flashy and polished slogans of the socialist government, there is a reality that's becoming harder to ignore. In towns across Spain, people aren't seeing demographic stability, they're seeing violence, they're seeing fear, and they're seeing a government that has lost control. Where politicians talk about integration, locals are literally forming patrols and taking security on the streets into their own hands. Though events of recent weeks have made one thing very clear: the migration debate is no longer confined to the political arena, to news segments and to press conferences. Now, instead of being debated by members of parliament on parliament floors and by pundits on news channels and political talk shows, the debate is literally spilling out onto the streets of European cities. For years, Spaniards were told to trust in open borders and European solidarity. Many no longer do. And if the government won't protect them, they'll do it themselves. While the national government calls for calm and tolerance, many communities are forming civilian patrols and demanding stronger border controls. Spain is beginning to confront a difficult question, not just about integration policy, but about identity, responsibility, and the role of the state. And as protests spread and incidents multiply, one thing is clear: Spain is waking up, and Spaniards are taking justice into their own hands, for better or for worse.